Hey, Sean here, Fat Moose Comics, and it's story time. No puppets, no songs. Sorry in advance. This is just a story. If you read the title of the video, then you will know that recently I had to call the police, and they came to my store for the second time since I've taken over. Now, the first time I made a video about, I think it was like November 2020. You can find it if you scroll back through the videos. Or I think if you search for most popular, I think it got the most views of any of my videos. So maybe this one can beat that. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Point being, I had to call the police for the same damn reason I had to do it 2 years ago. Shitty kids. Different shitty kids, but shitty kids. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to split this into two parts because people have no attention span. Part one, I'm going to detail my first interaction with these kids and how that escalated. And then part two will be what happened the day I actually called the police, what was the straw that broke the camel's back, and why I got the authorities involved. And one of the kids' mothers shows up. It's fascinating. It's a scintillating tale. So here's what happened. A couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or so, I think it was like a Thursday, I was here alone, and a group of young boys came in, young lads. There's about 5 or 6 of them. Now, you know, when it's seagulls, it's a flock of seagulls, or a pod of whales, a school of fish, a murder of crows. Whenever it's a group of boys, there's more than 3 of them or so, I refer to it as a migraine. So a migraine of young boys came in, and they had their backpacks on and stuff. So I immediately perk up and just, keep an eye on them. So they go over to the one independent section where it starts alphabetically. And that's everything. Image, Dark Horse, IDW, Aftershock, everything. Everything that isn't Marvel or DC. And they're all gathered around. So I'm like, all right, at least they're in a clump. I can keep an eye on them. And then one of them, his phone rings. He goes to answer the phone. I notice in his hand is a copy of an issue of Cave Woman. Now, Cave Woman it has nudity. Nothing from the waist down, but the main character often ends up topless. She's a very chesty cave woman. And I had forgotten to bag and board it. I usually always bag and board the more adult-oriented content. There's no sex, but there is nudity. So he's holding it in his hand while he was on the phone, and I walked over and I gently took it from his hand, and he said, what? I was like, I'm sorry, this is an adults-only book, and you are quite obviously not an adult, so you can't purchase this. And so I put it behind the counter, and then I bagged and boarded it. After they left, I put it back out. But anyhow, so they just kind of wandered around for a minute. They split up, as they often do, and they're doing that thing where they're like looking over their shoulder to see if you're watching that particular child, So I had eyes like a hawk. I'm watching all of them at once. And they don't buy anything and they leave. Okay, cool. About an hour or 2 later, they come back. And now there's 1 or 2 extra kids. There's like 7 or 8 of these kids. And they all have beverages in their hands. And my fellas, listen, we don't allow, food or drink in the store. So can you just put those down? So they put them down by the doorway. No problem. And the kid picks up the freshly bagged and boarded cave woman and goes, hey, can I buy this? I said, well, I told you last time you were in. No, you cannot. So second time is not the charm. Don't even try a third time. So he puts it down. So now they're wandering around again. And now he comes up to the counter with a copy of Belit and Valeria. It's a spin-off from Conan the Barbarian. There's no sex, there's violence, but there's no nudity. The cover is, suggestive. They're in skimpy clothing and stuff. So I guess these kids thought, they would get a thrill out of it. And the kid flat out said to me, comes up to the counter and he goes, we want books with boobies in them. I said, don't you kids have the internet? You can see all the boobs you want. You got smartphones? And the one kid turns his phone around and he's got a picture of boobs. He's like, yeah, look, boobs. I said, yeah, I'm familiar. I've seen a pair or 2 in my lifetime. And they're just being very inappropriate and acting out. And the one kid peeks in the back room. He goes, do you live here? And I said, nah, I don't live here. He's like, what's back there? I'm like, nothing, a refrigerator and stuff. And he goes, what's in the fridge? There's like a bunch of stuff, water and stuff. He says, can I have a water? I was like, no, this isn't a grocery store. Now the other kid puts the comic on the counter. He says, how much is this? I said, well, it's $3.99 with tax. It's $4.25. He goes, well, could you do $3? I said, as much as this is not a grocery store, it is also not a pawn shop. No, the price is the price. So one of his friends comes over and gives him money to pay for the book. And I said, isn't it nice to have friends? He hooked you up. And he goes, well, do you have friends? I said, yeah, I got a lot of friends. I'm a swell guy. He goes, can I be your friend? I was like, dude, you're just being a little creep. I'm like, stop it, all right? It's like, pay for the book and have a nice day. And I said, man, you guys are little terrors as it is. I can't imagine what monsters you're going to turn into when you hit puberty. And joking around. And the one kid goes, I hit puberty and ladies love me. And I was like, that's great. I don't see any ladies with you. I just see a bunch of bored kids, ruining my day. So they leave with the comic. They come back like 5 minutes later. Just the one kid, who I've dubbed the ringleader. Little short dude, red hat, just a little, you can tell just by looking at him he's a bad kid. And he comes in with the book and he goes, my mom said I can't have this. And the book's all wrinkled up and crumpled. And I said, well, tell your mom to come upstairs and we can discuss it, because we don't do refunds. And he goes, well, I can't, I need my money back. I was like, well, look, first of all, you ruined the book. I can't sell this now. You and your buddies ran outside tearing through it to hopefully see a boobie, and there were none, so now you want your money back. I said, look, I'll make you a deal, man. I'll give you back your money. We never refund money. I'll give you back your money. But you and your buddies never darken my door again. You're not allowed to shop here, all right? You guys are just, you're trouble, and I don't need that. So they left, okay? A couple days later, a couple of them come up the stairs, and there's one kid, he's got this like tousled like blonde hair. He's another big troublemaker. A couple of these kids, you could tell they were just kind of along for the ride. You know, they weren't like looking for trouble, but at least half of them were definitely out to, you know, start something. So this kid comes halfway up the stairs and he pokes his head through the railing, and I was like, nope, told you. You guys, you know, if you guys were cool, you could hang out here, but you're not, so you can't, so goodbye. Figured that was the end of it. A couple days go by. I hear the door downstairs open. Oh, and when the kids were leaving, when I kicked them out the second time, as they were leaving, the one kid goes, this place stinks anyway. And I was like, well, your mom was just here, and it's really hard to get that smell out of the carpet. I know. Okay, whatever. Dumb thing to say, but I said it. Okay, a couple days later, door opens. Some expletives are screamed up the stairwell. F you, F this, place sucks. Slams the door. I go outside. I got to come around the counter, through the store, down the stairs. I get out there. They're gone. Of course, they're not going to hang around. A couple days go by. Same thing. And I'm thinking maybe it was the first time I kicked them out. They banged on the door by the emergency exit, and then, you know, ran down the fire escape. And I went outside and I said to the kid, like, what are you doing? And they were all kind of far away, and the one kid, the ringleader, was like right under the fire escape. I'm like, what are you guys doing? You're like, go do something else. You've got the world at your fingertips. Any book, any game, any movie. This is what you do with your free time. Hassle an old guy who's trying to run a comic shop. And I had a bottle of water, and I splashed some water near him, like 4 feet away from him. I didn't get the kid wet. And he goes, what are you, crazy? What are you, crazy, throwing water at me? I was like, well, maybe I am crazy. I was like, you come back into my store and we can find out together just how crazy I am. So anyway, I'm all over the place with this. I didn't plan this out because I never plan anything out. So anyway, okay, so over the course of the next like 3 weeks, every now and again, without warning, door opens, fuck you, door slams, like son of a bitch. And I know by the time I get down there, they're gone. So 2 Saturdays ago, Justin was here with me, and I'm in the back room watching Colbert and pricing up comics, as I am wont to do. And Justin's at the register. I hear the door open. Now, if you're coming up the stairs, you're looking ahead. You don't see me. I'm to your rear, but I can see who's coming up the stairs. So I see these kids creeping up the stairs. And the kid with the tousled hair, he peeks through the railing and he sees Justin. He says down to the other kids, hey, it's a different guy. Come on, let's go. So they start coming up the stairs, and I say, no. And they turn around, they see me standing there like, oh, it's that guy. I was like, yeah, I told you guys, man, you blew it several times now, you know. You're not allowed in here. And stop slamming my door and screaming in the place. We get families in here. Don't make me do something that we will all regret. And that was it. Hour later, door opens, fuck you, slams the door. Like, son of a bitch. Happens 2 more times. So in a total of 3 times in one day. So a third time, I had it. And I actually caught up with 3 of them. And that will be chapter 2. I will explain exactly what happened. A few mistakes may have been made, but police were involved. The one boy's family got involved, and yeah. So that's going to be chapter 2, okay? Because this has gone on for almost 10 minutes, so I will spare you. I'll release this, and maybe I'll wait a day or two. I'm not going to record chapter 2 right now. I want to go home. Day's over. I want to go have a whiskey sour, chill out with my girl and our cats. Maybe I'll make chapter 2 from home. If I look a little like this, it's because whiskey sours, you know what I mean? So, we'll see. But anyway, stay tuned for chapter 2 of Sean versus the Shitty Kids. Thank you.